having like opening address by MC Sir. Now this end is happy to call upon Shri Vikas Raj Sir, Special Chief Secretary Transport and R&BD, Government of Telangana, to have his inaugural address. Vikas Raj Sir, please.
Thank you. Can I have the PPT? That's the PPT, all right. A very good morning. I think it's afternoon. Very good afternoon to all of you. I'll just give a brief presentation on what's already happening in the state. Of course, Honorable Minister Sir is there. He will be telling you about the vision of the state. Very few minutes back, about half an hour back, the road policy of the state was unveiled by the Honorable CM and the Honorable Minister. So, of course, we will be giving a copy of that to you also. So, this is a brief map of what is exactly that we are planning, what exactly the state looks like presently. So, of course, the Hyderabad, as you know, is basically where most of the GDP is generated. But, of course, our idea is basically to the extent possible, expand it so that the urban-rural divide is bridged to a large extent. So this is the vision of the Honorable CM and the Honorable Minister, sir. So basically the core urban region is there, and then the peri-urban area is there, and then of course the rest of the state is there, which is predominantly agrarian. So how to basically take these three parts, the core urban, which is basically the tertiary sector, mostly the services sector, etc., and the peri-urban area where the manufacturing, etc., is already there, and we are trying to bring more of it there, and then the rest of the area is basically where the agrarian part is there, plus of course mining, etc., basically the primary sector. R&B department, of course, we do primarily the roads and the buildings for the government. Private buildings, of course, is regulated by HMDA and the municipal administration department. We have taken up various projects basically to integrate the entire state as a single entity. Of course, depending upon the cost of the land and the connectivity, etc., as I was telling earlier, the pure and the rare, you must have already heard about it. So idea is basically how to reduce the expenditure on the transportation, how to ensure that the goods move easily. If the goods move easily, then we can have more holistic development of the entire state, and then of course thereby we will be having more industrialization and more services sector coming into the state, which ultimately will lead to more equitable development of the entire state. So in this direction, we are in the process of making a comprehensive road network master plan and identification of core road network. That's what is the plan that we have just now, the plan that was just now unveiled by the Honorable CM. So in that we have, of course, given various timelines and various milestones that we want to achieve. For an example, what is the grid size that we presently have? Of course, when we see actually on the ground, the roads will not be exactly like a grid. But suppose today we have, on an average, 50 kilometer is the grid. So we want to reduce it to 30 to 35 kilometers. So that's the sort of thing. Of course, national highway will be having a much larger grid. They may be having something like maybe 200 by 200, whereas our R&B roads will be much shorter. It should be something like, presently it might be about 50 or so. We would like it to further bring it down to 30, 35 kilometers. The idea is anybody from any place, any small habitation should be able to reach the nearest R&B road, which will by that time at least be a two-lane road in maximum of 10 to 15, maximum 20 kilometers, he should be able to reach. And from there, as fast as possible, he should be able to reach the present ORR. Of course, once the ORR and triple, then we will have more of people having their activity in that area itself and may not need to come to the core area. Of course, this is what is our plan, basically connectivity from the state to the district, then to the mandal, and then to every village. As I was saying, the entire thing is ultimately the roads that we are going to do is towards an end. What is that end? The end is basically to have a holistic development to promote industrial, tourism and other economic generators. So you would have probably attended some of the sessions done by industries department and other. Just now I think tourism was happening just before us. So similarly sports department will be having. So all those infrastructure, how to make it integrated so that people move easily, goods move easily, and thereby an integrated development of the state happens. These are some of the projected numbers that we have based on the grid size, based on the traffic that is likely to be generated. So we have done the projections and this is what is our plan. Of course, as we move forward, the plan will get further crystallized and further finish will come to it. In addition to that, we also want to have a management system so that the road management, road repairs, road maintenance becomes easy and system driven rather than it being an ad hoc system which moves on a year-to-year basis depending upon various factors like budget availability, etc. So to the extent possible, have a system driven maintenance of the roads. Of course, as I said, we as a department, we have HMDA, we have GHMC, we have the rest of the area. But for the state as a whole, it is one integrated system. And to the extent possible, yesterday we had a session on transport system. So to the extent possible, what we thought there was the entire transport system, roads plus buses, RTC buses or private buses, metro rails, MRTS, all these bullet trains, now we are talking about bullet trains, all the things put together should be an seamless movement for people from their place to whatever place they want to go. So this is our integrated approach to connectivity at all levels. This summit we want basically to elicit your opinion also as to how to go about it. So in this direction, we will be having further discussions today. So that's all from me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking all the audience through precise presentation and reach out for further actions by panelists and participants. Sir, today this is really a privileged moment for all of us. We are witnessing now key release of one futuristic document. I'm happy to announce today Honorable Chief Minister in presence of Honorable Minister sir and Special Secretary, Chief Secretary sir, new policy for road sector is launched. Now Honorable Minister sir will launch our video, audio visual presentation by RNBD on this very occasion. Sir, please.
Telangana takes pride in its diverse culture and heritage. With a geographical span of 1,12,070 square kilometers and an economy, GSDP, valued at rupees 18 lakh crore, Telangana is rapidly emerging the economic powerhouse of South India. R&B believes connectivity is fundamental for state's economic progress. Under the dynamic and visionary leadership of Honorable Chief Minister Shri A. Reddy and with the able guidance of Honorable Minister Shri Komatireddy Venkat Reddy, R&B Department is transforming the state's road infrastructure by laying the foundation for the state's growth with the ambitious vision for 2034 and 2047 as envisioned by the government. Road infrastructure works worth rupees 1,03,500 crore covering 17,000 kilometers are currently underway across Telangana to transform the state's road network and embarked on many major projects. A 6-lane elevated corridor on NH 163 at Uppal is under speedy implementation under the current leadership with construction advancing rapidly. Telangana state holds Medaram Jatara as the state festival as over 1.5 crore pilgrims seek the darshan of Sri Sammaka Saralamma during Jatara. Recognizing its immense cultural and spiritual importance, the Honorable Chief Minister has prioritized the temple's redevelopment and rejuvenation, along with the improvement of connecting roads with an investment of rupees 250 crore. These efforts aim to elevate the Jatara into a world-class tribal heritage and pilgrimage center. Building on past initiatives in healthcare infrastructure, the government has accelerated execution across the state. A 23-story Warangal super specialty hospital with 2,000 beds and 34 departments is under implementation with an investment of rupees 1,371 crore. 3 1,000-bed TIMS hospitals at Alwal, Sanat Nagar and LB Nagar are being built with over rupees 2,900 crore and the 14-story 2,020-bed NIMS extension. The government has also fast-tracked the rupees 2,700 crore upgrade of Osmania General Hospital, featuring a new 12-story 2,000-bed facility. Together, these landmark projects are not just hospitals. They represent accessible health care for its citizens. The new High Court building complex at Rajendra Nagar is being built at a cost of rupees 2,583 crore, reflecting the state's commitment to justice and good governance. Designed as a world-class judicial facility to ensure efficient delivery of justice. Some of the major flagship projects contemplated by the state include HAM. Under innovative road financing, the government has taken up roads extending over a length of 12,000 kilometers under HAM to address several issues of legacy of neglect. Regional Ring Road of 362 kilometers is a game changer for seamless connectivity of Hyderabad's periphery, which has gained momentum in implementation recently. Radial roads are taken up for implementation for enhancing mobility and connectivity, and these include 41.5 kilometers of Ratan Tata Road and 81 kilometers of other radial roads. The state is partnering in development of expressways. These include Hyderabad-Bangalore Corridor, the 6-lane Hyderabad-Vijayawada Highway, the scenic Hyderabad-Srisailam route, and the Hyderabad-Nagpur Corridor, unlocking Telangana's economic potential. Another major flagship project is the 300-kilometer Hyderabad-Amravati-Machilipatnam Greenfield Expressway connecting the state of Telangana with the eastern seacoast. Srisailam, a holy place of worship, is planned to be connected by an elevated corridor of 55 kilometers by protecting wildlife and also easing access to the shrine. Along with this, a 14.5-kilometer Somasila iconic bridge featuring a 1-kilometer glass deck walkway will shorten travel between Hyderabad and Tirupati. The state is planning to develop 2 new airports at Warangal and Adilabad, along with cargo operations at Warangal to boost trade and employment. To be future ready, the state proposes to develop a regional ring rail along the regional ring road. The state believes the high-speed rail corridors connecting Hyderabad with Chennai and Bangalore will revolutionize regional travel patterns. Together, these flagship initiatives are poised to redefine Telangana's growth trajectory and significantly enhance the quality of life for every citizen. The Roads and Buildings Department remains fully committed to realizing the Honorable Chief Minister's vision and contributing to the Telangana Rising Vision 2047.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, sir. With launch of this R&BD's reach out, the way things are seen for the future. Now we have this wonderful beginning of today's session, brainstorming, with opening address by MC sir and inaugural presentation by Special Chief Secretary sir. Now this is time to call upon Honorable Minister sir to grace the occasion with his keynote address. Honorable Minister sir, please.
ముందుగా అందరికీ నమస్తే తెలియజేసుకుంటూ గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ టు యూ ఆల్ esteemed dignitaries, industry leaders, innovators, my officers, Special Chief Secretary Vikas Raj garu, HMD Commissioner Sarfraz Ahmed garu, and dignitaries on the dais, and all my guests. Telangana is not just growing, Telangana is rising. I am honored to stand before you today at the Telangana Rising Summit, a platform that celebrates our state's determination, its progress and its future. Roads form the backbone of any progressive economy, and as we take giant leap to make Telangana 1 trillion economy, Telangana, my department is committed to connect all the mandal headquarters to with a double lane road to the district headquarters, from there to state capital Hyderabad. You might ask, how is that relevant to Telangana growth story? Well, it is good. Connectivity ensures arrival of industries in rural area, acting as pull factor. As a push factor, rural labor and manforce gets access to a origin of employment, more disposable income leading to more revenue. Build infrastructure, build confidence is our motto. Our government, under the able leadership of energetic and visionary Chief Minister Sri Reddy garu, is committed to providing safe environment for investors and employees alike. Hyderabad's radial connectivity is being boosted like never before. NS65 connecting two Telugu state capitals, Hyderabad and Vijayawada, is now being transformed into 8 lanes, marvel discongesting passenger as well as logistic traffic. That work is starting by before March ending. 6 lane plus 2 service lane existing highway, that is a whole 2 lane 4 lane road. I am happy to state that Telangana is turning a landlocked state into the economic powerhouse by establishing a state of the art dry port transformative facility. This session focuses on connectivity requirement towards accessibility and mobility to Hyderabad and transforming Telangana state into the economic hub of South India, that is ensuring smooth connectivity with the rest of the country and the world. Regional ring road with a radial roads connectivity is going to boost even development of Hyderabad, its surroundings. Previously, our government in 2004, we constructed outer ring road at the time of Congress government, then the Chief Minister late Dr. YSR is there, we constructed the ORR. Now we are constructing this regional ring road with value of 36,000 crores. A strong road network is fundamental to a strong economy. Telangana's fast-growing network of national highways is being expanded. Industrial, agriculture markets, tourism circuits, and logistic chains. We are among the leading state adopting HAM, just like the NHA model, hybrid MPT model. We have taken special interest. The roads, we call the tenders recently 11,334 crores, 399 crores. We are dedicated to establish Greenfield Express Highways with rupees 20,000 crores connecting two Telugu state capitals, going through 8-lane national highway where only train Srisailam will be connected by an elevated corridor. Our vision to reach 3 trillion rail connectivity must evolve into a high-speed, high-efficiency network. Further, I have to state that as a MP during 2009 and 23, I have good association with Honorable Union Minister Sri Nitin Gadkari ji. I requested for holding the next IRC annual session at Hyderabad. The IRC, with concurrence of Honorable Minister Gadkari ji, agreed to hold IRC at Hyderabad. This is a good news for our Hyderabad, Telangana state. When he held the meeting in 2016, he sanctioned additional 12,000 crores of rupees nationalized at that conference. So lot of states with competition, but I requested Gadkari ji, he accepted, is coming to Telangana, holding a meeting, and we are expecting more roads, converting state roads to national highway roads. Telangana is therefore prioritizing dedicated ride corridors for freight and industry, upgradation of major stations into international standard terminals, expansion of suburban intra-state connectivity, high-speed rail and bullet train projects. Looking ahead, Telangana is working towards establishing a high-speed rail corridor, boosting connectivity to metros and industrial hubs. A bullet rail lane which will redefine fast, clean, modern transportation for future generations. Our goal is to make Telangana premier aviation hub of India, capable of handling international logistics, tourism and business travel. Similarly, we are developing many mega hospitals to give free health care of world standard to every citizen through TIMS. Telangana role model is not neighbor states, but our role model are China, Japan, Germany, South Korea and Singapore. We all know roads, rails, airways, transport are fundamental for mobility needs. Therefore, I sincerely seek active participation of all of you. Towards this, I request Professor Sanjay Gupta ji to conduct the panel on today's theme our strengthen our resolve to realize Telangana Rising Vision 2047. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Telangana.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister Sir, for giving overall perspective and giving many pointers for our experts to ponder during panel discussion. Now we have expert panel on dais, and I request Dr. Professor Sanjay Gupta Sir to carry forward with our panel discussion. Sanjay Gupta Sir, please.
Thank you a lot, Mr. Sagar. My deep respect to Honorable Minister, all the dignitaries, my fellow panelists. It's my profound privilege to be part of such a distinguished panel and dignitaries on the dais. Keeping in view the time limitations at the outset, I would request each panelist to probably stick to the time allotted as far as possible. So we begin the proceedings with calling Dr. M. Fani Raju, Managing Director, Lee Associates South Asia Private Limited.
Thank you, Sagar, and thank you, Professor Sanjay Gupta. Respected Honorable R&B Minister, sir, respected Chief Secretary, sir, respected Special Chief Secretary, sir, respected Metropolitan Commissioner, sir, respected Professor Sanjay Gupta, respected Engineering Chief and fellow panelists on the dais, dignitaries, invitees and participants. I am honored to be here, and I sincerely thank RNBD and HMDA for giving these particular opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to share some of the work that's being done by Lee with respect to mobility and also with respect to the transportation plans that are being under preparation at a state level, particularly on the road development needs. Through this talk, our effort is to help you to appreciate the kind of demand that exists and also the kind of requirements that would be there at urban as well as at the rural connectivity. Okay, how do we... working. Yeah. Thank you. As we all know, the state of Telangana is spread over an area of 112,000 square kilometers. And it has nearly about 40 million in terms of the population, which is about 4 crores. The current estimates of the state in terms of its economy suggests that state is experiencing the double-digit economic growth and contributing about 5% to the national economy. As we know that the Honorable CM has been guiding us in the recent times with respect to what should be the economic regions and how the development should be viewed at. Now, this particular session, as we all know, is on the urban and rural connectivity. I'll cover under two parts, and the first one being on the urban and followed by the rural or the state level kind of perspective. The city of Hyderabad has been experiencing tremendous growth over a period of time. And it is growing, and it has been one of the vibrant cities of our state and in the nation. And the spatial growth, as you would see in the city, has been very rapid, and particularly the corporation area has been growing very rapidly, and followed by the densification that is taking place in the rest of the urban part of the city. Now, this is the one which shows how the spatial spread of the city has been. As you all know, the city of Hyderabad is about 1.4 crores or nearly 14 million in terms of its population. And it has about 56 lakhs, which is about 5.6 million in terms of the employment. And the number of registered vehicles in the city are 92 lakhs. Now, the reason why I am pointing out these numbers are, it is these numbers which dictate what could be the potential travel demand in the place. In terms of the supply, the city has about 69 kilometers of metro system now. It has about the major roads of nearly 6,000 kilometers, and in terms of the lane kilometers, they are about 15,000. Overall, about 1.53 crores in terms of the demand is what is being generated in the city, with a per capita trip rate of about 1.1. Now, what this particular picture shows to you is how the city is experiencing in terms of the interactions. Now, at a city level, you have about 1.5 crores in terms of the demand, whereas how city is interacting. Now, nearly 3.5 crores is the total interactions in terms of the vehicles the city is experiencing. Of this, 10% is the through traffic when we look at the passenger traffic. When you look at the goods traffic, it's about 25%, the bypassable traffic. Now, all this demand is leading to severe congestions on the city road system. Now, this we have been experiencing, and with time, this particular congestion is expected to further increase. But the efforts are on as Metropolitan Commissioners has told us that the efforts are on towards preparing a mobility plan and having a better transport system to meet the future needs. The estimated population of Hyderabad is expected to be very, very high. Now, what this particular table shows to you is we have about 1.4 crores in terms of the population. The city is going to add nearly another Hyderabad by the year 2047. Now, that's going to be huge. And what it will lead to is huge demands with time. While the employment size is expected to further increase from 56 lakhs to nearly 1.27 crores. So what we are seeing is the population is doubling, the employment is more than doubling, and the trip rates are going to increase by at least 20% or so. All this would lead to significant increase in the. And most importantly, as you see here, the private vehicle growth is expected to grow much faster even than the population. While the population is expected to increase, the vehicle population growth is going to grow to nearly 3 crores, which means we have nearly 2.6 crores as the population, but the number of vehicles are going to be nearly 3 crores. Now that's going to be the huge in terms of the demand. Now these numbers, when we look at how they will translate into the travel demand, it's going to be about 3.6 crores population, the passenger trips per day are going to be generated. Now the 2.6 crore population will generate about 3.6 crores person trips, and they have to be met. Now, if we don't do anything in terms of our transportation system and the planning, what it could lead to is the current 28 kilometer speed on the network is going to get dropped to about 22 kilometers. And unless and until we put together serious interventions, things are not going to happen. We have been working, and we have been very fortunate to have been working with HMDA under the leadership of Metropolitan Commissioner Sir, Sarfaraz Sir, and we have been having extensive interactions. How is that we can reduce the travel demand? How is that we can contain the trip length? The efforts are to re-densify the corridors along the metro systems and also along the rest of the transportation corridors. By doing so, we will be able to contain the demand, and as a result of which, we should be in a position to enhance the speed to about 42 kilometers. Now, one is the part of the internal travel demand. The other one is the external travel demand. If we see, it's going to be, again, as I said, it's going to increase in leaps and bounds. And all this would require a transportation system which is of multimodal in nature, cutting across several modes, and this is what you would see. We require about over additional 333 kilometers of metro system from current 69, which means city will require to have about 400 kilometers of metro system. City also requires an exclusive bus rapid transit system of nearly 220 plus kilometers, and we require exclusive bus lanes. What we mean to say, exclusive bus lane is we should give priority to the public transport system of nearly 320 kilometers. In addition to this, as Metropolitan Commissioner Sir has indicated, the multimode, the MMTS system which is there in the city requires further significant enhancement. In addition to this, the public transport routes and their rationalizations are required to be done, and also the hierarchical road system we need to bring in place. In addition, several elements of other multimodal transportation plan include putting together the terminal facilities, logistic hubs, and number of such things. Now, what you see here is how the metro is going to be with time, and also the MMTS as well as the road network and the terminals at this number of locations. All these efforts, I would submit to all of you, are expected to result finally in terms of controlling and ensuring the time an user is going to take. From a 38 kilometers, which was there in the year 2016, the average speed on the network has dropped down to 28, and these interventions are cutting across modes potentially can lead to we having an average trip length of or the average speed of about 40 kilometers or so. Now, this is at a urban level, that is metropolitan area level, and when we get into the rural setting and how the situation is likely to be. And the state, as you know, has an extensive network of the road system of nearly about 34,000 kilometers. and with nearly 50,000 lane kilometers in terms of the supply. I don't know. One very important thing which all of us should certainly note is the level of the growth of motorized vehicles at a state level. We are going to add about 1 crore, about 10 million additional new vehicles in the, it is what has happened in the last 10-15 years. That's about 1 crore new vehicles got added. And all this has led to the kind of desire and the travel that you see here. What I want to inform you is over 1 crore regional trips are getting generated of the passengers. Nearly 21 lakh goods trips are moving on the state road system. And all this leads to the having the kind of travel time contours, something like this. What you see here is how far that one can travel with the current kind of transport system within 2 hours of travel. And what it would mean is we will take about 2 hours 30 minutes or so, 2 hours 10 minutes to Nalgonda currently. And this and for in different directions. Now, our effort and as per the vision is to ensure that how do we control the travel times of the people and enhance the functional efficiency of the road system. We know the state is likely to be in the between 5.5 to nearly 6 crores in terms of population over a period of time. And the demand is going to grow. And the demand is going to significantly grow actually at a state level. And this is how the interaction patterns are expected to be there. And all these interaction patterns are going to lead to the current travel times, as we can see on the network systems, are going to shrink. And shrink significantly like this, which means up to outer ring road itself, you are going to take 2 hours to commute. And unless and until we improve this road system, we cannot probably travel within 2 hours to peri-urban or beyond. And following the vision of the Honorable CM, RNBD is trying to put together the road policy, which is unveiled today, and also ensure how the road system can be developed over a period of time. Given the spatial pattern of the state, what one would think is we should have, like at a national level, the north, south, east, west corridors, as well as the golden quadrilateral at the nation level. We should also, at a state level, should have something like a network form of this nature, and which is something like this. You have 2 rings, and followed by probably one need to develop a couple of more rings to make sure the total travel demands are met very appropriately, along with the radial road system. Now, something that which I would like to impress upon all of you is we have a settlement, and the settlement, if it is connected with one linkage, you will have certain level of economic vibrancy. And if you add one more link, how the vibrancy or the interaction patterns of a settlement increases. Now, this is what is the vision of the RNBD in terms of how do you ensure the multiple connectivity. We have a leader in the Honorable Minister who not only served at the state level, but also as a Member of Parliament at the national level, and he has been guiding the RNBD in a very dynamic way as to how we can improve upon the entire road system. It is not only just improving in terms of the national highways and the state roads, but also the expressway system, the elevated roads across the state is what are being contemplated with time. And most importantly, as the Honorable Minister Sir has indicated, it is important to ensure that the landlocked state of Telangana is connected with the port. And they have been having discussions with Government of India to make sure that this particular jinx is being broken. Now, through the efforts a few years back, what has been done is there is a need to add on from the current 5,000 kilometers to nearly 2,000 at minimum. And also, the state roads will require to be added by additional nearly 3,000 kilometers. So, in addition to that, the department is contemplating to make sure how our road development program is being put together. And this is similar to the kind of NHDP that's there at a national level. The rings, the north, south, east, west, as well as the corridors which it requires. In addition, the regional rapid transit system is contemplated, that is required to be developed. And all this effort only at a state level can lead to we controlling the times on the transportation corridors. Now, as I had shown you before, this is the current the travel time contours on the state road system. And this is what is going to shrink if we don't do anything. And if we improve the multimodal transport system, and very particularly the road transport system, this is how the spread is likely to be, and making sure that we have an efficient roads as well as the multimodal transport system. And with this, we will be in a position to control and achieve the vision of the Honorable Minister and the vision of the Honorable CM, and the Rising Telangana dream are going to be achieved. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Raju. I think if there are any questions, we'll take it in the end because of paucity of time. May I now request Dr. Manoranjan Parida. He is joining online. Dr. Sagar? No? Not possible? Okay. So we are unable to kind of connect him on online. So I will now request Mr. Rahul Gupta, our next panelist. He is Additional Director General, Ministry of Road Transport Highways, and Secretary General of Indian Road Congress.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Minister, R&B, Government of Telangana, esteemed dignitaries, distinguished guests, learned fellow infrastructure visionaries, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I am here today not merely as an administrator of road standards, but as a messenger of a transformative possibility. Indian Road Congress, popularly known as IRC, understood that infrastructure is not merely construction by bitumen, concrete, and steel. It is the muscle connecting opportunity to those who have been historically distant from it. I will take you through how design and construction technology can be the critical nexus that transform Tenagla's vision from aspiration into live reality for every citizen, whether they reside in the vibrant heart of Hyderabad or in the villages of rural Telangana. As explained by Mr. Vikas Raj, Special Chief Secretary, in his presentation, the Government of Telangana has committed extraordinary resources for infrastructure development in the state. It is an acknowledgement that genuine development requires intentional bidirectional flow of capital, flow of knowledge, and flow of opportunity across the rural-urban continuum. Yet I must speak candidly. Money alone does not transform infrastructure. Timely execution, quality, and intelligent deployment of technology determine whether the roads become catalysts for equity or monuments of. This is where the design and construction technologies play a crucial role. Just I move forward, I will just take a few minutes to explain about IRC. What IRC is? The Indian Road Congress was founded 91 years ago, and tomorrow we will be celebrating its 91st anniversary. And it was founded with a singular vision to advance the science and practice of road development, ensuring uniformity in design and construction practices across the nation. Till date, we have published 275 standards, specifications, code of practice, and manuals covering every critical dimension of road, bridges, tunnels, traffic management, and safety engineering. Since its inception, IRC has become a catalyst for systemic transformation. We convene engineers and policymakers. We standardize practice. We disseminate knowledge. Today, IRC is not merely a repository of technical standards, but it serves as an architect of advanced. Its codes and standards forms the backbone of all road sector contracts issued by all the road development agencies in the country. These standards govern the quality assurance plan systems, ensuring that public investment translate into durable and high-performing infrastructure assets. We will be showcasing all these aspects during the annual session of Indian Road Congress in the month of November next year, which will be held under the leadership or the presidency of Mr. Mohan Naik, the Engineer-in-Chief of R&B Department in Hyderabad. And all the delegates and dignitaries present here are heartily invited to join us during the session. A sobering lesson we have learned from our national experiences is that project failures rarely stems from flawed designs. They stem from deficiencies in the implementation, from poor construction quality, from absence of detailed method statements, from a culture that treats execution as secondary to the design. Here is what I wish to emphasize. The application of uniform quality standards must be carefully contextualized across Telangana, a stratified economic model. A high-volume highway code appropriate for pure corridors may prove impractical for low-volume rural roads. But this does not mean that accepting lower quality standards in the rural roads. Rather, we must develop what I call a simplified digital standards that are absolutely non-negotiable on quality outcomes, on material adherence, on structural integrity, and on durability, but that offers flexibility in implementation complexity. The realization of rural-urban integration demands a foundational shift, a transition from intuition-based analog workflows to data-driven digital intelligence, ensuring parity in planning and maintenance capabilities across the stratified economic zones. In context of Telangana, imagine a scenario. A standardized precast rural bridge in Adilabad district can be virtually monitored by urban planners and engineers based in Hyderabad. Structural health can be accessed remotely. Failures can be predicted. Maintenance operations can be optimized. The physical distance gap that has historically meant that rural infrastructure receives less sophisticated management stands erased through technology. Artificial intelligence amplifies this transformation. AI is projected to boost construction productivity by up to 20%, significantly reducing delays and cost overruns. But beyond productivity, consider AI's safety applications. Integrated with this sequence, IoT sensors, and computer vision, artificial intelligence can transform roads into dynamic systems that learn and adapt, proactively identifying and addressing the root causes of road accident. That is a public health crisis that demands our urgent attention. One of the most profound shifts in how we approach infrastructure is the adoption of building information model and digital twins. These are not merely technologies, they represent a fundamental reimagining of how we plan, construct, and maintain our assets. Digital twins are dynamic virtual replicas of physical infrastructure that update in real time. And they are revolutionizing our decision-making process when planning a new highway or evaluating a bridge structural integrity. Engineers can now conduct hundreds of simulations, test scenarios, and optimize designs before a single brick is laid. This approach has demonstrated remarkable results. Energy efficiency improvements, reduction in project rework, and increased construction productivity while simultaneously reducing asset management downtime. Building information modeling has emerged as a foundational technology for achieving digital standardization, but its wider adoption remains constrained by insufficient policy push across the public projects. Telangana has the opportunity to pioneer a uniform BIM strategy. In addition, geographic information systems provide essential spatial context for all infrastructure planning. GIS is critical for prioritizing and inventorying road networks. The efficiency of schemes like Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana depends heavily on online management and monitoring and accounting system, also known as OMAS. And here is where the drone technology becomes transformative. Drones provide affordable, high-resolution imagery for site surveying, land use analysis, construction progress monitoring, and quality assurance. The combination of GIS, drone, and OMAS platform represent perhaps the single greatest opportunity for democratizing design and quality capability. When this combined with workflow becomes mandatory, the rural administrator gain access to real-time intelligence and planning tools previously exclusive to the urban planners. This genuine democratization of design capability across the state. Indian Road Congress has already initiated the process of developing standards for BIM and digital twins specifically tailored to our infrastructure context, roads, bridges, and tunnels. A new technical committee is formulating national standards for AI integration in the road sector. Formal standards are needed to govern the accuracy, auditability, and data ownership of AI-generated reports. Regulatory clarity will unlock investment, encouraging vendors to adopt these technologies for improved service delivery and compliance. Building resilient infrastructure requires ecological footprint while maximizing durability.
Can I request you to kindly wind up? Huh? Yeah, thank you.
This dual mandate is increasingly urgent, and here where IRC provides definitive technical guidance grounded in innovation and sustainability. IRC has provided comprehensive guidelines for utilizing recycled waste plastic in hot bituminous mixes. Mandatory utilization of plastic waste in rural road construction creates an institutionalized large-scale consumer for urban waste generated. This creates a direct, tangible economic linkage where the urban environment liability is systematically transformed into rural infrastructure capital. This is not merely sustainability, this is economics of equity. In addition, climate adaptation is no longer optional. This involves mandatory hazard mapping, identifying hot spots vulnerable to excess heat, flooding, cyclones, and designing resilient measures. Design decisions must be informed by mandatory emissions accounting exercises. The potential for low carbon interventions must be clearly identified with quantifiable CO2 emissions reductions calculated. The next important aspect is the quality. The quality must be foundational policy embedded from the conception through operation. Indian Road Congress provides authoritative standards for quality systems. Effective total quality management requires the digital enforcement of detailed method statement during execution, overcoming the historical implementation deficit that leads to premature asset failure. The transition to digital quality control is non-negotiable. Automated and intelligent machine-aided construction is currently being piloted in projects like Lucknow-Kanpur Expressway. Critical intelligent compaction technologies include intelligent compactors as detailed in IRC standards and provides documented proof of execution quality by logging real-time data, roller location, number of passes, speed, and most importantly, compaction meter value. Telangana must mandate the use of intelligent compactors for all pavement layers projects involving double lane. For life cycle accountability, the 5-year inbuilt maintenance clause in civil work contracts must be reinforced by mandating digital handover of assets. By transferring the digital twin baseline, complete BIM model, and documented execution quality to the maintenance authority, the state must enforce transparent accountability for long-term performance. It means that technological investment must be focused not merely on innovation, but on enforcing execution quality and guaranteeing verified construction practices in the field. The transition to advanced construction requires profound overhaul of technical education across the state. Curricula across ITIs, polytechnics, and bachelor program must be modernized to include project management, asset management, and core digital competencies. BIM modeling, drone operations, GIS mapping, and photogrammetry must be integrated not as advanced electives, but as foundational competencies across all technical training institutions. Standardizing these digital skills creates a location-flexible, high-value workforce. A technician certified in BIM or drone data process maintains equivalent economic value whether working in Hyderabad Corporate Tower or a Warangal district office. By investing heavily in location-flexible digital skills, the state can create a system where the youth, especially in rural areas, can participate fully in the knowledge economy without necessitating to migration to urban areas. The transformation envisioned by Telangana Rising 2047, bridging rural and urban into a single cohesive, thriving state, cannot be achieved by simply building more roads. It requires building intelligently, equitably, and sustainably. When we invest in intelligent compactors on village road, when we deploy digital twins to monitor rural bridges, when we train rural youth in drone operations and BIM modeling, we are sending a profound message. Your location will not. This is the promise of Telangana Rising 2047. And design and construction technologies is the instrument. This promise becomes a reality. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much. So now, may I now request Mr. Srinivas Ganji, Director, Mrs. Arcades, Hyderabad. You can probably continue.
Yeah. I hope I'm audible. Thank you. was actually like very fascinated by the goal set by the Honorable Chief Minister in terms of moving from the current 15 times the current economy, and that actually requires huge infrastructure changes, upgradations, and the new infrastructure which actually we have also seen from the other experts presented in terms of what actually has been being planned to actually reach that level. And what I want to stress here is the need for very strong digital backbone or the technology foundation for completely managing this asset life cycle for this infrastructure, and also to sustain this infrastructure, and also to have these operations well maintained and then well serviced for actual outcomes. And then I would like to actually propose the 5 layered approach, where the first layer would be to have all eyes and ears of the infrastructure in terms of having the CCTVs, having the dash cams on the existing resources like the public transportation, vehicles, garbage vehicles, or actually any other source that actually we can connect with, and then have a better reach of seeing the status of the infrastructure and what is happening in terms of road safety, the demand, and all of them. How can actually we can take the crowdsourced data, and how can actually we have the situational awareness about what is happening on the network overall. That's the first layer. And then the second layer actually is to enable the connectivity across the state along with the physical infrastructure. How can we develop this digital infrastructure in parallel with what is happening in the state right now, so that all this data comes to a central place like a Bharat Future City, which actually can act as a central brain, which actually can be a digital twin for the complete state, where it can actually keep evolving in terms of the models, optimizations, and forecasting, and then performance monitoring, measurement. So this can be opened for as an open service, open source, or actually any other service which can be accessible to both the public and then the private, which can enable innovation, and then lot of operational platforms that actually can be built over this to bring the efficiency and then improve the road safety among different agencies like adaptive traffic signal control system and road safety management system, to actually have the lesser response time in the golden hour, and then public transportation operationalization improvement. All these things can be easily enabled with a central mobility digital twin for the complete state with the government, enabling all the public and then private organizations. And then the last layer actually is to empower the end user service, and then having a multimodal integration, not just actually with the physical infrastructure, but also having a seamless mobility experience, not just for the people within the city, but actually also to the level of a person like residing in the village. How can we actually enable him and then connect with him with the digital connectivity, and then help him for the seamless mobility experience, not just actually them, the logistics also. So this is how I propose that like we should actually have this 5-layer approach to have a very strong, efficient, sustainable and safe infrastructure possible, which actually can support this 2047 vision of Telangana rising. And this is very much important, because if you have seen the outer ring road actually was formed like more than 10-12 years back, and then this has resulted definitely a very good economy for the complete, maybe for the state as well as for the city. But at the same time, it actually is taking away almost 60 deaths per year, 65 deaths per year. And how can we improve the safety or actually reduce this loss of lives while having the economy boost? I think that is more important. So that's what I wanted to propose on having a very strong digital backbone for the mobility for the state.
Thank you so much. Now, may I now request Mr. Chetan Patel, he is a CEO of Texture Ahmedabad, to speak on the subject IT, ITS and road safety. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister of Roads and Buildings Department, Telangana, Honorable Chief Secretary, Honorable Engineer in Chief, and all the topic is basically it's how can we take Telangana for a Vision Zero state. Vision Zero means what? It is zero fatalities and zero severe accidents. That should be the ultimate goal for the road safety that we should aim for. So that is where, in fact, I would like to highlight how we can transition to achieve the Vision Zero. So first is like we have, there has to be a phased approach. For example, we have cameras installed, we have traffic signals. So what we can do is using those camera feeds and those understanding the traffic patterns, we can tune the signal timings. We can enable AI intelligence on the camera feeds to understand queue, to understand incidences, to understand violations. Then as a next step, we can go for further enhancement. Okay, then as a next step, we can go on further enhancements, like whatever the signals we have, we can go for adaptive traffic management system. We can go for deeper analytics on the camera feeds to understand the traffic signal violators, speed violators, and based on those, we can create a predictive models to understand who can be the future people who can basically get involved into accidents. So assimilating and basically refining the data and all these things is going to be very crucial in once you have the data. Then you can basically implement ANPR, deploy incident capturing, do e-chalans, integrate GIS, GPS data also. So this is basically the next phase of approach once you have implemented cameras, signals and everything. After this is basically go for an interactive based system. For example, install pedestrian crossing system. I am not sure how many of the people knows, but in most of the cities in India, the most deaths happen after, the majority of the people who die in accidents in cities are two-wheelers, and then comes the pedestrians. So safety for pedestrians is also very paramount important when you consider city traffic infrastructure. Then you should have some speed calming to control the speed of the vehicles, for something like to warn for if you are a speedy vehicle and to greet you if you are basically going with a limited speed. Then if you do parking illegally also, there has to be some sort of an interactive display based system that displays gets activated that you are parked illegally, please remove your car. So this kind of interactive based system as a next phase I suggest to go towards improvement of your ITS system. Thereafter you advance AI to data mine and basically provide predictive models to identify drivers, for example, who are driving erratically, who are not driving in a queue, who are speeding up. So those kind of people, those kind of vehicles are mostly going to get involved in accidents. Plan for drone using for incident management for events where the density of the traffic is very high. I give you an example. If the drone has to be available or used, there was a massive traffic jam in MP sometime back, in some couple of months back, and a person has died of a heart attack because he could not get the medicine. So if you have something like a drone kind of a system, you can deliver basically some critical medical accessories, medical assistance to people who are stuck up in the traffic also. Then also parking plays a very important role in IT. Over like 50 to 100 hours every year to find the parking place. So geomap your parking places, identify parking places you have, and provide them in a digital platform so that citizens who drive can easily find the parking space. So this saves the fuel as well as saves the time also. Then along with the fiber optic network, now we have 5G networks, then 6G networks will also be introduced in the coming future. So use this kind of a network based thing also to integrate your IT equipments, integrate your road traffic equipments with the command and control center. That would be easy versus laying out fiber optic. Now, what would be the future is basically is a V2X or CV2 cellular vehicle to anything, which is where every major country is doing pilot projects, and India is also not far behind. We maybe I think in couple of months, as MOTH releases a guideline, we will be, India will be doing pilot projects on C2V, is basically connected vehicles and connected vehicles to infrastructure, road infrastructure. So this is the ultimate roadmap for right now that is envisioned across the globe to achieve Vision Zero. And this is how basically you have vehicles connected, you have this. Now, we cannot leave behind the vehicles which are basically not having those kind of an instruments called onboard units, because CV2X or V2X requires a roadside unit that connects to your ITS infrastructure like signals, pedestrian signals, speed calming systems. And also there is an onboard unit gets fitted into your vehicle and gets associated with your vehicle sensors and vehicle data. So like for old vehicles, which for example, which have dashboards, so has cellular connectivity, you can basically, and not having OBU integration feasibility, you can integrate the data from basically roadside unit to cloud, and from cloud pass that data to the dashboard of the vehicle. So let's say if there is a wrong way vehicle coming in your way, the sensors will immediately inform that data to roadside unit. From there, the information goes to cloud and comes to your dashboard that there is a wrong way vehicle coming ahead. So please drive carefully. And for those vehicles which doesn't have even a dashboard, they are old vehicles, so you can have some sort of a smartphone-based facility for integration. So this is how basically you will connect all the three variants of vehicle types that exist on the road with connected technology. I just give you one very simple example, considering like I think Hyderabad has more than 600, 700 traffic signals. But let's say if you have 500 traffic signal, and on a signal you put up a display, a message display. So when you stop at the signal on a red line, the display says engine off. I'm sure when someone sees that, if you have like 50 vehicles on each side standing on a signal as a red, and if 30% of those vehicles switches off their engine, because psychologically if someone sees, then you basically tend to switch off the engine. So that means 22,500 vehicles have switched off their engines, translating to 3,15,000 hours of fuel emission saving. So you can imagine that this translates to how much reduction in pollution. Also, just a simple thing of switching off your engine on a traffic signal. So maybe next time when you stand at the signal and the signal is red, switch off the engine. It will help to contribute saving environment and fuel also. And this also means that this can be something like the fuel consumption of approximately 100,000 vehicles every day traveling in Hyderabad city. Another simple thing is basically that's a human psychology. So just slow down at junctions, so junctions which doesn't have traffic signals active, and there are junctions which does not have traffic signals, but if you tend to slow down at junctions, your chances of collision and accidents becomes very low. So next time when you travel and come near to a junction, please try to slow your vehicle. You will experience some peace and some happy thing that yes, this helps really to avoid accidents. So in fact, one of our road safety project has also been recommended. Basically, it was a World Bank assisted program, and it was such kind of project was recommended in more also road safety practices in India. And also, lastly, no Vision Zero or future of Vision Zero can be achieved if public participation and in fact their active involvement is not there. So public awareness, continuous education, sense of responsibility to follow traffic rule is also very must. So this is again, we just not just relying on the systems and the infrastructure, but it is also our duty to basically adhere to the traffic laws. That's all. In fact, I would like to show you a very small video, and in fact, Honorable Minister or Honorable Secretary, sir, I think he said about lots of highways coming up, and as you have highways, and there is a lot of maintenance activity. There are basically, I will show you for one video that has saved many lives very recently. It was on 26th of November. So can you please play the video? TTMA. It's a very short video, few seconds only. Actually, that video is not rendering, but it was basically on a national highway project on 26th of November. It's on a 4-lane road. One lane was closed and for maintenance, and they were setting up work zones. And unfortunately, there was a car. Basically, the driver has slept in the morning at 9 o'clock. And he has basically accelerated the vehicle. I mean, pressed his foot on the accelerator, and there was a device called TTMA. So in just 3 seconds, that vehicle was coming in very fast mode, something like 110, 120 speed. In just 3 seconds, basically stopped the vehicle, absorbing all the energy. And if that equipment was not there, you could have imagined there are 48 basically people on that lane working. So if a car with speed of 110 goes over 48 people, how many fatalities can happen? So this,
Mr. Patel, can we wind up now? Here,
Yes.
Can we wind up, please? Thank you. Thank you. So now, may I now request our last panelist for today, Mr. Hari Bhaskar. He is Manager Investment Operations, South Asia, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, China, presently based in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, please. Yeah. Yeah. You can speak from there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Hello. Thank you. Good afternoon, Honorable Minister, Special Chief Secretary, Metropolitan Commissioner, and all the dignitaries. Honored to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I know I am the last man standing between you all and a delayed lunch. Taking a lot of importance of infrastructure, technology-enabled infrastructure, the road safety, and the policy and all that. So a little bit about the bank. I represent the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, which is a multilateral bank like the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank. This bank is a new kid on the block. We started like 10 years ago, around 2016. India is the second largest shareholder of the bank and is the largest borrower or beneficiary, I should say, from the bank. And most of the money from the bank in India goes to the transport sector. We have been working very closely with many states, and we have done, for example, rural roads in Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh. We have done highways, ring roads in Chennai, secondary roads in Assam, orbital roads in Haryana, metro projects in many states, in Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, Kochi, and RRTS, Delhi Meerut RRTS, in our 10 years of operation. This is just to show that transport is a sector, especially roads is a sector in India where there is a lot of demand, and the bank will be very happy to work with government of Telangana too. I saw in the policy document in Honorable Minister's forward an American JFK saying something about why America's roads are good. Same thing, there is also a Chinese proverb, because I come from a bank which is based in China. There is a very old Chinese proverb, a 1,000 year, then it should build roads. This is a strong belief of Chinese, and you can see that when you go to China, for example, that every nook and corner is connected with roads, which is a very important enabler for economic growth. I'm very glad to hear that India is planning to do the same thing, and the Vision 2047 encompasses that. We all know that with the good road infrastructure, the economic growth inevitably follows. Development, not just infrastructure development. As a development bank, we believe that just developing infrastructure alone is not adequate. You have to develop the human capital, by which we mean the education and the health infrastructure, which will all follow if we have a good road network. So I'm very glad to be here to discuss about the roads. And the topic that I have been given is to talk a little bit about program approach rather than a project approach. Why program? Why not project? Actually, a program is not very different from project because it is just a string of projects put together. But at the same time, the key objective of a program is to ensure that the outcome is achieved rather than just an output. In a project in which you build like 30 kilometers of roads, the output is to build just the 30 kilometers of roads. But if you have a program like, say, a Bharatmala, or if you have a program to connect highways to all the major cities in Telangana, then the outcome is to ensure connectivity, not just to build that 200, 300 kilometers of road or 1,000 kilometers of road. So it is a very outcome-driven approach, this program. That's why program approach is extremely important. And if a project, if it goes beyond a certain size, it becomes very difficult to manage. But at the same time, if it's a program which has a group of projects, then it can be managed better. You can have a program director, you can have project directors for various projects under the program, so that the program can be managed better. And I spoke about the outcome. Also, it's very important, whether we like it or not, all these assets, the road assets as a road sector, but we are going to face the consequences of the climate adaptation. Yeah? If we don't adapt, if these assets don't adapt well to the consequences of climate change, it's going to be a problem. When you do such a large road network as a program, then you can ensure that the climate resilience aspects are taken care of into the whole program. But if you do the program into 20 different projects, instead of approaching it as a program, some projects may have some good climate resilience approach, some projects may not have it, So it's very good to ensure that if you have a program, all the climate resilience aspects are built into the design so that it can stand the test of time. So I can keep talking about why a program approach is much better, but these are some of the aspects why program approach is better. And also at the end of the day, you will have to assess the impact of the program or the project that you have done. When we do it as a program, it gives you a holistic approach. It enables us to assess the impact or to evaluate the impact of the program. From the financing point of view, because I'm from a bank, we financiers, I'm not just talking about the multilateral development banks like us, World Bank or ADB, even domestic financiers, even NABARD-like financiers, would very much like a programmatic approach rather than a project-based approach. So I think it will be relatively that much easier for the state to get financing if you can develop programs rather than just individual projects. And also financiers are keen to ensure that the outcome of any program is achieved rather than outputs. Again, program comes into play. Financiers would like to ensure that there is consistency in your environmental and social safeguards approach across all the projects, which is again possible by having a program. Consistency in procurement approach, because transparency in public procurement is extremely important. It's good to have a program so that you can have a consistent approach in procurement, and not to mention the climate resilience aspect that I spoke about. So this will help in consistency. And also we as financiers would like to ensure that the government is committed for the whole program. You know, if it's just one or two projects and other projects don't get committed for various reasons, then that gives a level of uncertainty to us as financiers. If there is a program that is, then it gives us that much confidence that government is going to see through the program. So we would like to ensure from that point of view also, program approach is much better than the project approach. There are many ways to finance a program. If we have a viable road, for example, financially viable, I mean, for example, like the ring roads, then we can always use PPP models, HAM models. Private sector can come into play because private sector has to come into play. There could be other roads like rural roads which don't have the financial viability, but which have a huge socio-economic impact in the society. That's where banks like us come in to provide sovereign-backed financing at much cheaper rates. But these are not going to be financially viable projects, but we are not a commercial bank, we are a development bank. We would like to ensure that these projects are done. These projects may not pay back in the next 5-6 years, it may take 20-25 years, but these projects are very important to ensure that the socio-economic benefits are achieved. That's one way to finance. Multi-phase approach, again all the banks would love that we finance one program which can be again executed in multi-phases. This is another way to finance it. InvITs, we all know about InvITs, which is essentially refinancing. We can approach InvITs. There are many ways to also monetize the assets along the way. For example, if we build metro projects, there is a lot of commercialization going on around the metro line or along the alignment of the metro line, which brings in a lot of revenues. So there are multiple ways. And I don't think in our country, in India, getting access to finance is a problem. The problem could be in getting access to good quality projects. If we can enhance the quality of projects by making it as a program, by giving consistent approach to environmental, social, procurement and climate resilience aspects, then I'm sure we can get good financing deals for the project. To conclude, as a financing agency, we would strongly encourage a programmatic approach, especially in connectivity. And we as a multilateral development bank in which India is the second largest shareholder, India is not just a borrower, you are also the owner. India is also the owner of the bank. We stand ready to help in any way the government of Telangana in its ambitious plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhaskar. Well, to sum up, it's my privilege at the outset on behalf of the government, I sincerely express my heartfelt thanks and deep appreciation to one and all for attending this event in large numbers and for your active participation. I thank every expert and moderator for their expert inputs and guidance. And I would also like to kind of briefly touch upon key takeaways from this session without boring you a lot. And maybe in the end, maybe I'll have some points to make. Incidentally, before I just do that, I mean, let us be very clear. You cannot achieve economic development without transport. It is absolutely clear. If you don't provide mobility, you are not going to achieve economic prosperity. That is proven fact globally. So I think what Telangana government is doing through their vision plan and through Honorable Minister and all the dignitaries, I think it is a fabulous exercise. So that is the starting thing I just wanted to convey. And I have been involved in several regional level studies, and I find transport, it acts like a catalyst to the entire development. And we cannot have inequity prevailing in pockets. So if you have to have an inclusive growth, which is the vision of Telangana 2047, I think we need to have transport acting like a catalyst to promote that growth. Some of the quickly, I'll run through a few points which came out at Hyderabad level, the city level, is local area plan should be prepared by HMDA. Pedestrian safety should be accorded. I am slightly at the absence of footpaths in the city. It's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful city, but I think we need to kind of do a rigorous exercise on how we can create footpaths, maybe even the cost of vehicles. We need to have safe mobility for pedestrians. I think that's very important. The flyovers and elevated roads should be implemented. The metro needs expansion on a continuous basis in a big way, and I think the government of India would be very more than forthcoming to support the government of Telangana on that. MMTS, ROBs, RUBs require a lot of attention to be developed. I'm sure Dr. Raju in his presentation already has touched upon. The road sector policy also has brought out what are the future development programs. So all in all, it's a wholesome package. I'm very excited actually to learn about such huge projects. Probably the government of officials here have carved out also have exclusive bus lane projects. I think one of the other things I would like to point to the dignitary present here, I find the public transport is, especially in Hyderabad, is quite low. The ridership is just about 28%. We should expect a ridership target of at least 40 to 50%. And it is quite visible. Yesterday when I was traveling 2 days, I didn't find too many buses on the road. Even the buses which were there were not probably fully loaded. So there is something I think we need to, it's my request to the officials here that if one were to decongest Hyderabad, you need to kind of get into encouraging. There are two measures of, we call it travel demand management. Either you push people towards public transport, and if they're not willing to be pushed, then you pull. And if they're not getting pulled, you push them towards disincentives. You start getting into charging, congestion charging. I think we will soon see, I see for Delhi, next 2 years we'll have congestion charging coming up. I think Hyderabad will have to resort to pilot studies on congestion charging. You have to start getting into carpooling as an exercise. Piloting will have to be done. And the third is flexi work schedule. Maybe some pilot can be done on flexi work schedule, how you can stagger your peak hours on the corridor. I think these three things, probably some piloting can be done. It would do a great service. It's such a beautiful city, but often I find you get locked up. When you come from the PV Narasimha Rao flyover to the city, you start getting into the, because of the inherent build-up which is around the area. So we need to kind of emphasize on that. At the state level, I think dedicated state road fund like CR could be explored. You've got a massive upgradation program. It's a beautiful way of kind of developing the whole state into pure and rare kind of terminology. Each area having its own distinct character, and how each area still would be connected by the transport proposals which you have put up. But what we need is safety. I think what we all often find in all these videos are high spanking roads, but often we find that most of these roads also are classical case, Delhi-Mumbai Expressway. Just last week, a couple were lying unrescued for 7 hours in a car crash, and they passed away. So I think this is just, I'm not being despondent on this occasion, but I think it's all nice to have good network, but I think safety has to be inbuilt, and I think how we can have ITS incorporated into the safety, the network. I think it's very important. I would call it safety and smart mobility, both. That should be the paradigm for network planning for Telangana. Road safety audits need to be taken up. I just mentioned. Regional ring road is a beautiful concept. You have ORR, which is a fabulous network which we all rode on to the venue. I think regional ring road, again, I am assuming it's going to be as fabulous as OR. But I think we need to kind of ensure, my simple philosophy is that if I'm coming from a region and approaching a core area, I need to have speed zoning very clear. I should know that I am coming into a congested area. The vehicles need to speed down. The vehicle need to slow down. And I think that is where the ITS through enforcement can come in. We need to start calming traffic as you keep coming towards the core area, because I think the pedestrian safety has to be paramount in the built-up area. I think that is the essence which it can create. Ring road should be implemented priority. ITS project, my colleague panelists have re-emphasized very interestingly. I'm sure some pilots would come. What you have shown here, connectivity, the Hyderabad core has been taken up. Inter-district connectivity should be accorded high preference. All national highways should be upgraded to 6-lane, partially access controlled highways. I'm sure they are finding their voice in the road sector policy document which was unveiled by the Honorable Minister here. So I'm also a logistics person. I've been teaching logistics for the last 30 years. I think while we do recognize passenger mobility is important, it's equally important to have freight logistics in place. And I think this is a concept of city logistics which you need to adopt for urban area, for Hyderabad. You have fantastic e-commerce demand. We don't plan for e-commerce sector. We don't plan for quick commerce. Same problem is happening in Delhi. So we need to kind of become proactive, start looking into where we need to plan the dark warehouses, where fulfillment centers will come, where micro delivery hubs will come, what kind of management strategies for urban freight will have to come in the cities. I think that probably is an aspect which probably could have been more highlighted. As far as urban mobility, already Dr. Raju has presented, we need to kind of scale it up. Metro expansion plans are on. Public transport, bus-based will have to be there. And I think long-term BRTs and other proposals in any way are finding their footprint into it. So all in all, I think I am extremely happy and excited to come here. I would once again would like to, because of paucity of time and lunch, I'm just trying to rush up to kind of conclude with the parting comments. I thank you again. It's a beautiful vision document. All the efforts are excellent. And I think now probably is the time to implement those projects. So I'm sure detailing will happen with due diligence. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Hello. Hello, check. Hello. Hello, check. Thank you so much, sir. May I now request Shri Komatireddy Garu, Minister Garu, to present the felicitation mementos to our speakers. The artwork is a special mask from Cheriala, and the Pochampalli shawls are being presented as the mementos, with the GI mark on it, the geographical indicator. Memento of appreciation from our Minister Shri Komatireddy Venkat Garu to all our speakers for having conducted this wonderful session. As a part of this Telangana Rising Global Summit, these mementos have been specially curated for this occasion by the art forms of Telangana. The Cheriala face mask, the artwork, along with the very famous Pochampalli shawls. Felicitations to our speakers by Honorable Minister of R&B, Cinematography, Government of Telangana, Shri Komatireddy Venkat Garu is being presented by the memento and the shalwa. May I now request Mr. J. Mohan Naik, ENC R&B Department, Government of Telangana, to render the vote of thanks.
Honorable Minister Garu, Komatireddy Venkat Garu, Special Chief Secretary Vikas Raj Garu, Sarfaraz Garu, Metropolitan Commissioner, distinguished speakers, delegates, representative and industry from industries, ladies and gentlemen. As we come to close this enriching and thought-provoking event, it is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks at the conclusion of this highly successful global summit event on connected Telangana integrated transport and urban-rural connectivity. At the outset, on behalf of the Telangana government and R&B department, I extend our deepest and most respectful gratitude to the Honorable Chief Minister Sri Reddy Garu for his exemplary vision in leading the state towards sustained prosperity and long-term well-being of Telangana and its people for decades to come. We are deeply honored by the gracious presence of our Honorable Minister for his valuable presence and clear guidance, direction and inspiration. As you all know, we have several legacy issues and hence we are hard-pressed to deal with issues of major concern. For the first time, with the guidance of Sri Vikas Raj, Special Chief Secretary, under the leadership of Honorable Minister Komatireddy Venkat Reddy, the R&B Department has formulated a policy aligned with Honorable Chief Minister's Sri Reddy's vision for planned and systematic road development advancing the Telangana Rising Vision 2047. We are conscious that this is only the beginning. We place on record our deepest gratitude to Sri Vikas Raj, Special Chief Secretary, whose personal presence, close monitoring and hands-on guidance at every stage of the event were instrumental in ensuring its flawless execution and grand success. I express my Sincere thanks to Sri Sarfaraj, Metropolitan Commissioner HMDA, for his constant guidance and supervision in making this program success. We are deeply grateful to all our eminent speakers, panelists and session chair for sharing their insightful prospective technical expertise and practical experience. Your contribution have truly elevated the quality of discussion and enriched the learning experience for every participant. I thank all the officers, engineers and staff of R&B department for preparing the road sector policy, for work tirelessly for the last 15 days, day and night, with unwavering commitment and team spirit to ensure the flawless execution and grand success. Our sincere thanks to all the delegates and participants who joined us from various parts of the country and beyond. Your enthusiastic participation, engaging questions, and active interaction made this summit truly dynamic and meaningful. I thank consultant Lee Associates, South Asia Private Limited for their timely support in preparing this document and arranging technical supports in making relevant material for the summit. We also thank the media partner, logistics team, and all service provided for their valuable support in amplifying the reach and ensuring seamless arrangements. As we conclude, we are confident that the knowledge shared, network built, and ideas exchanged over this session will translate into meaningful action and future collaboration. Once again, thank you all for being a part of this Telangana Rising Global Summit. We wish you safe travel, continued learning, and great success in all your endeavors. Thank you, one and all. Jai Hind, Jai Telangana. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohan Garu. May I request the members, the delegates of the next session, the official members from Speed, to please come towards the dais.